probably going to get streamed by some player, but let's focus in. Let's put that big optic right there square on our first matchup of the day. It's Ryze, who had a rough sled yesterday in their first matchup of this split 2 against Vanquish, who are looking just as good as they did in that mid-split playoff. They've rounded right back into form. So this one, to me, Blaze, I really need to see a new gear out of Ryze if I want to start to have more faith in them.
Oh man, I'm with you on that one. Okay, when it comes down to Ryze, I feel like that series against Rebel, first one to kick off the league, they got to be excited. They got to come out swinging and be able to take that one, and they just kind of fell flat. Now they have to go and play up against a Vanquish squad that is super disappointed with their playoff performance. That felt like that they started off slow, that they were behind the curve when it came down to practicing for 4v4 with the other squads. Well, coming into this season, they don't feel that way anymore, okay? They're ready to reclaim their throne, get back on top, have an undefeated season if they can, because that's one of those goals in which they're trying to check off their list as a dominant four-man team. And when it comes against this Ryze squad, they're going to be ready for them.
They need to be ready for Ryze, because I need to see Ryze, like I said, kicking into that next gear, and you talked about it. They really need to start to find their form if they want to have any chance of finishing up in the upper tiers of this pro league. But we got a player to watch. Operation 6 is about remembering the fallen. Well, nobody has seen more people come and go than this man right here. Franchis is our longest reigning professional player in Gears Esports. He has seen them all come. He has seen them all go, and he is still showcasing just a level of talent and skill hardly matched by just about anybody else in the league, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, man, when it comes down to the knowledge that Franchis has, is so irreplaceable, and what he brings to this team, no player can do, because he has seen the competitive Gears of War esports at every single title and understands what it takes to be a championship caliber team. And that's something that you're not going to find that type of experience anywhere across the league, that he, just like how he has it. So when it comes down to Fran, man, I'm looking for him to have a big night tonight, round up the troops, get them ready, and come out here and show that, hey, we're still here to compete. Okay, we are a top 4 squad. You should still fear us.
And I mean, Franchis is going to relish in the fact that he gets to go up against another slew of young guns where they're probably going to think he ain't got the reaction speed, he ain't got the timing to take us down. And Franchis is going to say, hey, come on into the classroom. Let me put this ruler up to the chalkboard and show you just how I teach these young fools a lesson. He's going to be one of those guys to watch all night long. He's going to be able to play people like a fiddle. They're going to think they have the upper hand on him. And Franchis, as you know as well as anybody, he will always have the confidence. He'll always have the collectiveness, and he'll always be calm, even under fire and under pressure. So yes, without a doubt, the player to watch. But we need to also watch what maps Ryze decided to try to play against Vanquish, because them picking bans, they can come back to bite you if you find yourself on the wrong end of the block. And right now we got Asylum, Training Grounds, and District, and I kind of like how this sets up. Asylum, Training Grounds, and District, all three kind of set up heavy maps. They're all very much styles and situations that you would think Ryze would like to find themselves in.
I agree with you, and honestly, on the flip end, VQ is gonna love this just as much. Training Grounds, one of their better maps, but when it comes down to District, I think Ryze and Vanquish are two talented teams there. Definitely when it comes down to the squads that we have in a pro league and their talents on District, I think both these squads are in the top 5 at minimum. So that's going to be a bloodbath if we get there. But Ryze has to close out Asylum today. They look very good against Rebel through those first 5 rounds, but they let the map get away from them. If they can close out map number 1, Ryze can definitely win this series.
And like you said, if they can learn to close and always be closing, you got to remember those ABCs. Trying to get those maps under your belt rather than having to worry about going to a map 2 down 0-1. If you can get that 1-0 lead, if you can go into that map 2 with that extra pep in your step, you might not even see a map 3. But I am sure Vanquish is sitting here going, guys, they had to close out and they couldn't do it yesterday. What in the blue blazes makes you think they're going to do that thing today? Let's roll that right on into our predictions, Blaze, because this is going to be an interesting matchup to me. I think we're going to see Ryze perform a little bit better than yesterday. They've got to step up or else they're going to get squashed. But I just don't believe it is going to be enough. At the end of the day, those boys over there on Vanquish, Acells and Hndles, the gruesome twosome who have been the haunting horrors of the 2v2 Astro battles, alongside of Vital and Precision, have made one of the best quartets of players we have seen in quite some time. I am picking Vanquish, and I'm picking them to put down Ryze in 2 Swift maps.
Okay. Nice prediction there, Colin. I see you. Well, when it comes down to my prediction, I got to be honest too as well. I'm always going to be honest. Hell, when it came down to Ryze's series last night, it hurt to see them lose to Rebel because I wanted to see them take them out and look like a dominant team that we saw before. When it came down to my predictions last season, I gave Ryze a lot of picks, okay, to beat some big teams because I felt like last season if they could start to peak towards the playoffs and look like the Ryze from before. But after that loss against Rebel last night, I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer right now, and especially not against this VQ squad. So I got to go with Vanquish in this series. But I will say, if Ryze takes map number 1, they close out Asylum today, I'm gonna be sweating on my prediction off those last 2 maps. All right, that VQ comes through, but Asylum goes VQ way. It's a Swift 2-0.
I'm surprised you're not sweating already, my man. You look hot as the other side of the sun, so I'm surprised you aren't glistening from head to tippy toe. Our chat predictions coming hot and ready to go for all of you at home right here, right now, and they are right on board with both of us. Vanquish across the board. All 3 of us are thinking the white and blue of Vanquish will lay waste to Ryze. Well, we can't figure it out for ourselves. If they just went by predictions, I mean, I'd be perfect right now. I'd be 100% of my predictions going back to last split if we just went by what I had to say. What we got to do is get into the game. We got to see how these players roll out of spawn and how they take these fights. We're going into Asylum. There's the conductor. I'm sure he's got his orders to take out anybody that finds themselves on the wrong side of the train tracks. And both teams, they're going to get loaded up. They're going to get their shotguns ready, and they are going to be ready to take the action to each other. And here we go with a 2-2 split, of course. 1 player going to the middle to make sure nobody can cut through. 1 player up top, and of course, 2 players down low, just taking care of business at the train tracks. Avexys playing that beautiful bunny hunt skin. I know PR yesterday probably got a hell of a chuckle out of seeing that on broadcast because he was telling me when we were earning it that any pro that used the bunny hunt skin was going to be his favorite.
Avexys was making plays on this map too with that skin. He gave it the perfect introduction to the Pro League. Definitely out of all the skins that they've released, this is my favorite. I'm super excited about Prescott and a lot of news that Gears announced today. Make sure you go read the weekly, go to the website. Now, when it comes down to this initial, Colin, I'm looking for the players in the middle to kind of make this play, but we see the first flashes start to come out. And as soon as those flashes come through, these players need to make a play off of that little advantage that they have, but they didn't like the connection there. Acells felt like that flash kind of came short. So it's going to be a stalemate for right now, but we'll see who makes the first move.
I mean, this is one of those situations where you see everybody kind of mounted up, just going to be throwing out some Lancer fire. Nobody's really going to be pressing forward. This is what we always kind of are starting to work with, and there goes Ryze. I like the aggression from Ryze. They're going to push up to the 45 on Precision. There goes the flash. The back train's going to come in, and they're going to leave Avexys down, I believe. Icy has to get over here quickly. Oh, my God, just by the skin of his chin. They get the revive, and they get away before the conductor can find himself 2 kills right there.
Wow, what a save there from Icy, but they cannot recover because with both of those guys being out the fight, you saw VQ quickly take their advantages and they got the pinch in middle. Ultimately, that results in a trip cap domination, 1 minute and 54 seconds for round number 1. And man, that was a nail biter. That went down to the wire towards the mid game.
It definitely did, and one of the things that I think is very underrated with the way that Vanquish has been playing as of late, and it's the way that they're able to pressure their opponents, where I always like to talk about team fights or team fire tactics, where you saw all of a sudden as Avexys pushed up, Precision got a few Lancer shots, which allowed Acells to kind of hit those few pellets here, few pellets there, get that next down, and force Icy out of position. If you can always try to figure out who your teammate is shooting, whether it be from marks or just sheer communication, that's going to make life so much more simple for everybody. But Blaze, we have an M-bar out already after round number 1. Ryze decides to throw that bad boy down right at entrance and make this a 3v3 up top.
I like it, man, because if Avexys can get that M-bar, he can definitely set the pace for Ryze to get momentum up in this matchup. Now, the first initial few flashes that come out is going to stun, but you see Ryze, they're going to send 3 players up top, need to make sure that they can get this weapon and back out. And they're going to do just that. Player number 9 being Rushiez, surviving as long as he can on the tracks. M-bar is going to get passed on over towards Icy, and we'll see how can Ryze retake the B hill, because that's going to be their next objective.
Up here, you see Icy actually looking over that cover, trying to find somebody with the M-bar, trying to get that pick. Acells is going to go down. Easy shot in on the thigh, but his second shot will come out and finally find that chunk. Vital will have to go ahead and kill himself off there as he tries to just rotate back toward Hndles. He's going to bleed out. Hndles now by himself at the B hill, trying to hold off 2 different players from Ryze. You see Icy just trying to pepper in shots with that snub. And all he's trying to do is keep Hndles bleeding. He's trying to keep him damaged so that he can't reach in his health. Triple cap domination starting to tick through. Acells outside. He's going to try to bounce in. Gets one little touch. That's going to reset the timer. Try to allow somebody else to get off a spawn, but it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be in time. Ryze, they answer back, and they tie it up 1-1.
And good job to Ryze, man. You know, even though when it came down to capturing hills, they didn't get the B hill right away, that was completely okay, because Ryze's sole objective was getting the M-bar and retaking map control. And they did it flawlessly. They was able to get it back without losing any players. Rushiez played his life on the tracks as long as he can, the best that he could. And then the rotation came down low, the kills came through, and the players off respawn was able to get the pinch on a home hill of VQ. And that was a fantastic round from Ryze.
Fantastic round by Ryze, followed up by just simply the Boltok. So they're going to try to catch up now in the secondaries on the side of the map. Talon and Boltok out for Vanquish. As you can see, they're going to start building up toward that utility grenade, toward that top entrance to be able to have to bring into that fight. Avexys will throw a smoke deep. That's going to block out the sidelines. It's going to force Vanquish up into the fight. I don't know if they caught Precision, who went inside of the entrance, but they've got, oh my God, they got a mad red, and Precision will get out with the M-bar in hand, but Vanquish will lose the first player. They will have ice broken upon them. And you see Precision still trying to continue to rotate out, try to save his life. 3 players inside the home hill for Ryze. They're going to try to go for this quick triple cap domination, and nobody makes it into the hill in time. Mr. Krabs comes through. Ryze, they take the lead 2-1.
Those are the Ryze rounds that you want to see. Just working smarter, not harder. 200 IQ plays right there. When it came down to it, they sent majority of their members up top to get the M-bar. Even though they wasn't successful, they were still able to get a kill. Now, down low, once the B hill was captured in that 1v1 position, Ryze said, hey, we got all our members alive, man. That guy's playing back on the tracks. Quick triple cap, win the round, and that's exactly what they did.
There it is, upgraded to the retro, and I think that changes the outlook. I think that changes the genetic makeup of this fight right now in this round for Vanquish, because instead of having to get into that M-bar and try to get a quick pick and get out, I think if you're Vanquish, you could use that retro to throw out a massive amount of damage and keep anybody from being able to help the entrance fight. There you see already Avexys a little red, smoke out, trying to clear out those lines. Flash in, Avexys will bounce into the entrance, get the pick on the M-bar. They're not going to have anybody being able to shoot him just yet, and nobody for Vanquish did pick up the retro. They came straight into the fight, but look at this. Vanquish has actually gone to rotate somebody down to the B hill. They're going to try to win a 2v2 fight down here to try to keep the pressure off of their players up top, and oh my, Vital with 1 kill. They clean up the other as well. Avexys with two shots out, not going to be able to find anybody in Blaze. I'm not going to lie to you. I think this is a pretty good initial for Vanquish. Even though they lost that initial power weapon, they have gained positioning around the map, and they've been able to clear out 3 players from Ryze who have to now come back off a respawn and set back up.
You know, what VQ is doing is saying, hey, you know what? Even if you guys get the power weapon, we're going to force you to have to make difficult plays. We're not going to be fearful of you on the map after you get that one and play back. And I love it, because if they can't be quicker than Avexys up top of the map to get that M-bar, well, just get map control and make it difficult for them and out-rotate them. Working smarter, not harder. So now as this M-bar gets rotated down low to try to capture B hill, the way that VQ is set up on a mini-map, they're going to immediately overextend and rush for that home hill or get that second M-bar off respawn if Ryze does not make plays quick enough. It was a great play to force Ryze's hand. Now we get to see what type of team Ryze is going to be in this round.
Avexys will push out toward Acells. Acells is going to drop that flash at his feet, and now you see Rushiez actually joining the fight, trying to find a cheeky little angle there through the window. Not going to be able to find anybody just yet. Avexys will pull back. Here comes a little bit of a home-to-home stretch. Precision's just getting the break. He's trying to put pressure still onto Ryze. Vital tries to slide up in from behind and get that quick back A off, and there's a good little exchange favoring the side of Ryze. They come away with the kills, but already Vanquish has rotated to B, gotten the kill down there, and has gotten up onto the hill, and now they can get the 2-to-1 hill spread yet again, and they're going to cross the 200-point threshold very quickly in this round. Front train will come through, and I don't believe Ryze has enough players to be able to rotate quick enough. Actually, it's double train, so now we go 2-to-2 split here, but nobody's going to be able to pressure up. You see them trying to push into the hill. There's going to be a lot of damage outplays.
No downs. Now, player 1 is going to have that cross, but he's not able to get Icy down because player 8, he says, hey, you got to respect the 1v1 mid-map, so that made this a man-on-man situation for Ryze. He got the decap and capture at B, but can they get through mid-map? Player 6 had to back up because even though these kills are starting to come through for Ryze, and this was a 1v1 situation, since player 1 had the home hill locked in with his teammate and that fight wasn't fully won at the top end of the map, VQ knew they had a win condition, but great effort to Ryze there in the late game to try to come back in that one.
They did put their best foot forward, and Blaze, I think one of the things that we got to take a look at here, Vanquish once again will have that utility first. They're going to have it for at least 2 rounds up here at the E-Hill in this second half fight. To me, that might just be a little too far behind for them to be able to catch up. I know Ryze, in their after their second round win, they went with the Boltok rather than the Talon. So they're going to be 2 rounds not having a shock in this fight. So do you think they send somebody over there to bring that retro into the initial, even though that shock is going to be there waiting?
You know, they can bring the retro to the fight, and it's definitely going to slow it down. They need to be careful of precision because VQ is going to have a right-hand advantage once they get inside that entrance. But Avexys is going to be at the forefront of the fight. You see Fran, he does bring the retro lancer here. Avexys makes it in first, but that was a great bait for the shot grenade because he knew that there was no way in hell he was going to be able to quick pick that and get it back. So at this point, Ryze, they have a nice little advantage with VQ already wasting a shot. And Ryze springs into action. I already know what their next move is going to be. Lots of pressure on those players to spring left, but Avexys goes down. And this is a good job to Vital. With that down coming through, he doesn't get too greedy for the kill. He waits for his second target to put damage on that player, making sure that he can keep his teammates alive. And we'll see. Can VQ push through?
I love the wiggle right there from Fran. He saw the back A coming in. He actually dodged the first one with that little sidestep. Precision and Vital will go down. Look at Rushiez trying to come in from behind to get a kill with the Boltok. He's going to get it down, but not going to get any kills. He's finally going to find 1 player coming up. 3 players now for Vanquish are dead off of spawn, basically, because the secondary rotations from Ryze were picture perfect. It gets him the E-Hill, it gets him the M-Bar. No retro in the hands of Ryze right now, and they're going to have the point lead going forward as well, and it could be a little bit bigger than expected as they already have the 2 hills at 2 Vanquish's none. So Vanquish is going to have to find a pretty good pick here. This is going to be one of those situations where you know they're going to wait for their shot grenade to come back. They're going to go for the pick on that before they push in.
Got to give a lot of credit to Rushiez. We were so lost in the initial. He got that down in his 1v1, and his rotation back to help his teammates gave them map control, and that's what got them into this position right now. So good job to him. Now, Ryze, how long can they keep control of this one? Multiple downs on the stairs, but that smoke's going to be a saving grace for Ryze as they can back down, rotate out. They are going to lose the E-Hill, but because they got such a good lead early on in this round, they got time to talk it out, make some decisions here, and figure out how do they want to retake this E-Hill, or do they want to go down low and retake D? But I think definitely E is going to be the play.
Rolling out will be Vital. He's going to try to pull back. You hear the shot come out. It actually lands right almost at the feet of Vanquish, so that almost cuts them off. I think it landed right at the edge of the hill. I don't know if Ryze could have stayed in it because they would have been out in the open. Avexys will catch Vital, try to take 1 shot onto him. Vital will go down underneath the overpass, and Avexys is going to leave him to bleed out. This is going to be pretty important as Avexys was going to have the easy run out to the home hill and hits Hndles in the head. He hits the body on Acells. It is not going to be enough, but here comes the retake from Ryze. 3 players in the area. They've already got the decap on D. Acells goes down. Ryze is looking to take this round and the lead in map number 1. They're looking to get this thing to be 3-2. Vital will get at his home hill to stop the triple cap domination. But Avexys is going to cut him right in half with that M-Bar.
All right, Underbunny is going to be out of ammo right now. He used the speed on him across from the down on Vital to the plays he made afterwards. He knew what was going to be the perfect play to help Ryze win that round, and the teamwork amongst them, because his teammates, once they saw the kills coming through, they says, "Bet, good job. We know exactly what to do next." And Ryze, they closed out the round. That was just beautiful plays across the board from him.
Beautiful plays, picture perfect by Ryze. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You said he made a lot of great plays yesterday. Avexys did. I am right here seeing Avexys continuing to make a absolute slaughterhouse of this map. Number one, already has 10 kills to his name, showing up and showing out early and often in this one. This is going to be a pretty interesting retake, if you ask me, for Vanquish, because they have lost a lot of these initials, and now they're both going to have shocks to be able to throw out. There's Vanquish's answer. They're going to have a down onto Avexys. 2 down. They can't get the third, I think, in time. No, they do get the third. My God, what team fire.
Man, a headshot with the Lancer. But the revives come through in VQ. They says, hey, we're going to play for these kills first rather than a power weapon. A late flash comes through for Ryze. That slows down a push coming from VQ, but in the end, they were still able to make the play. But Rushiez, he was able to get 2, and that was great because that was the flash that kind of held off the push from VQ just a bit. Now, after the dust has settled and the kills have traded out, Vanquish will get the power weapon and should be able to get control over the E-Hill. But great job from Rushiez once again with another influential flank through the mid-map to give his team a nice little advantage or keep him in a round.
Smoke out!
Staying into the round is really important to Vanquish right now, was they have to keep the points close. They're not giving up that cap on the E-Hill. Ryze is still unable to get it. They finally do pull through as they put 2 players in it. I love the way that Ryze, to me, has always kind of been at the forefront of using their smokes to cloud the angles, using smokes to really force players and teams to either come through and fight them or to not be able to get those Lancer shots out. Acells is up here. He's got 5 more shots in that M-bar. He needs to find a pick if they want to be able to get this retake. I don't believe if Acells misses every shot here, it's all over but the crying for this round.
Colin, I'll tell you one thing. If it's any 2 items in Gears of War that make you feel pressure, it's smokes and Lancers. And that's 2 things that Ryze know how to utilize very, very well. We talked about missing every shot. He connects with 1 player that was going to the ground, but just 2 shots remaining in his clip. He's just going to slow it down a bit. Back up, E-Hill, F-Hill locked in for VQ. They also have the win condition, but Ryze know they have about 30 seconds to play around with to get set up and execute a move to possibly get them a decap before they lose the lead. That's their first objective.
Push back in. Ryze now taking position on that cover, gets the angle and the mark out, but still is not able to find a shot. Acells struggling really to find any of his markers with that M-bar. Shock will come through trying to hold them off. Vital will go down once. They're going to continue to rotate bodies into the area to try to stop them from getting that shot off. Now 2 players from Ryze will be able to stand right here in the cubby corners of E and get that cap off. 2-to-1 hill advantage back over to Ryze. Acells has to push in, get 1 kill. They've got to get this retake off very quickly. They get 1 decap. I don't know if that gives them the win condition. If they get it back, Hndles pushes up a little bit, puts himself in the danger zone, if you ask me. It does not turn the win condition over. This is very, very tough sledding for Vanquish, as now they have to find a way to get a decap on D. And look at Ryze. They have gone in basically a prevent defense setup. They have gone super wide with all 4 players. They're forcing whatever angle you come out with Vanquish. Somebody's going to have to win a 1v1 somewhere to try to get in the hill, but they're not going to give up any of those lanes. And Avexys has a breakthrough. Avexys made it all the way to the home hill of Vanquish, so no matter what they did in that round, it was all over. They had the plan and they had the execution to make it happen, capping.
Yeah, they executed that one very well, Colin. And the player you got to highlight is going to be Rushiez again, deep in spawn, blocking off EQ's rotation from that side of the map for them to be able to get a pinch on top of that home hill. Also, you know, Ryze, they did a good job just kind of playing for time, understanding what their win condition was, talking about just several different lines of defense. give up the E hill. We don't need that at this moment. If VQ takes it, cool. We lost Avexys. Back up to tier 2. Get Avexys off the respawn. See if we can press through towards the home hill. They knew that they did not have to win it off the E, and they found their win conditions in the end of the round. But I will say, VQ, man, they're playing quick. They know what they need to get these rounds, and I think that they're going to turn up the heat here towards the late game. But Ryze, we talked about it, ABCs, you always got to be closing, and this is a crucial moment for them.
The shock will fall just inside of the entrance, and they answer back. Both shocks are perfectly placed. They'll get downs, and they will ensure that nobody can get to their players safely. Look at the way Acells has to fly into the entrance, and he gets 2. One up a second with a little wiggle waggle on the easy one shot. Now he's looking for the M-bar, finally finds it. That's a beautiful job. Oh, no. Oh no.
Stop it, Acells. When it comes down to the M-bar, man, he is damn near automatic. He was making big plays during the major, but VQ, they're threatening trip cap domination. They do have one member down for Ryze. This is currently a 3-3, but final. He's gonna look over his left shoulder. He takes the bullet to the back of the head. Acells trying to make up for it. He doesn't connect with the body shot. Trying to stay alive at this moment, seeing if he can kind of make up for that blunder.
That's an apology in the comms right now. You know, at least one sorry has come out already. I'm not sure if they're going to harp on it, but you know, Acells is thinking we had the triple cap situation. I put a bullet in the back of Hndles' head. The answer back. Beautiful job by Hndles with the incendiary grenade. There's a 1v1-1 at the bottom of the map by Avexys, and now you see 2-to-1 hill advantage will be in favor of Ryze, but it's going to be home-to-home, which is almost impossible to hold on Asylum based on how far you have to run. You see now, Vanquish already getting the decap there at their home. 3 players from Ryze will be mounted up here at the E-hill. Smoke out. Fran will go down just outside of the entrance. Double Lancer fire onto him, trying to get that pick. 2 downs come through. Acells pushes up, gets 1. Now Acells turns and burns the second. Acells with the bounce. He will get the 3rd. No, he won't. Just in time. Rushiez with a shot, but the pinch and the downs followed by the out will come through for Vanquish. I was cheering for him in that situation. I wanted to see my man go nutty 2 times in the same round.
Precision. He's going to be playing tracks down low by himself, but he's going to be waiting for Fran off the rotation. That's going to be a slow 1v1 for now. If Fran can make it there, you saw Hndles. He's looking that direction. He knows Fran's got a cross, but the stack is actually going to be down low. It's going to be a home hill play. We're going to see if they can get the decap, pull VQ away from his E-hill, but all VQ has to really do in this moment, Colin, is press forward. They don't have to back up and fight the home hill. They know that they can win off 1, so they're going to do just that, and picking up that kill there towards the back of spawn. 2 more follow suit. Icy's the last one standing, and now VQ get closer to putting us at around number 9, just 1 away. This is where those ABCs are important, Colin, all right? And now Ryze is going to have to find ways to get early advantages and just kind of play to their strong suits here for the rest of the round.
Really wasn't sure what Ryze was going to be able to do later in the portions of that. Even after the team kill, Vanquish seemed to keep finding kills in a home-to-home stretch, as you know, especially if you don't challenge it, is not going to be very effective. Vanquish go with the classic block and lock at the 4-3 to try to get it to 4-4. Ryze will answer back with their own block. You know they're going to go with the double disables, both on the shocks now. All Vanquish will have over him, I believe, is the insta-kill ability of that incendiary, whereas the Boltok is still the secondary of choice for Ryze at that home hill. But the tracks have a set of incendiaries themselves, which I'm not sure how much of a differential this makes. I mean, look at the way Ryze is playing this, though. They're going for the double incendiaries right off rip. This is going to be an interesting little play for me down at the bottom. It'll give up the advantage, I believe, for either team.
Oh, Avexys, he ended up getting a first blood kill, but he went down right away, and his teammate couldn't keep him alive. Ryze, they had the 2-2 initiated from the start to make sure that they got those nades, so they had a player late to the rotation to get to E. We'll see how long they can stay alive in this moment. I think Fran has a sweet spot in that corner. Yeah, those flames won't be affecting him, and Ryze will be able to rotate back. But I think that was a play that they had to make because they didn't have an incendiary grenade on their side of the map, so they had to at least get the ones in the middle and hope their teammates can stay alive as long as they could up top at E. And I think by Avexys getting first blood, it allowed Ryze to get themselves in this position they're currently in.
Franchis trying to hand off the M bar to Avexys, finally gets it off, and oh my god, what a great decision by Ryze. Avexys found one head already. They're going to try to pressure up onto Acells. They're going to stay here in this area. Rushiez Fran will be a little bit hurt there, playing that Blood Moon Imago. Avexys making sure there goes the smoke out. Once again, going to be clearing up the, will be clouding up the sight lines of Vanquish in this situation. Vanquish need either a decap or a retake here on E. All players back alive now. This is dangerous, I think, for Ryze, because the longer this round extends, there's going to be another 1v1 over those 2 incendiary grenades, and Vanquish will have one of their own to use as well. And I'm just not sure how picture-perfect Ryze can continue to be with their own incendiaries. The last time they got 2 kills with it, but the M-bar for Avexys has been picture-perfect. 1 down comes through. You see them trying to mount up and get a second, but from the middle of the map, Rushiez with the Bolt Hawk finds a headshot. That settles down. Vanquish once again giving Ryze the 2-1 hill advantage.
Ooh.
And a major
downtown. From downtown, Ryze, they are currently sitting in the driver's seat to win this round, lock in map number 1, and take a well-needed lead going into training grounds in district. But it's not over with yet. Ryze is going to stack towards the E hill. They got 1 player at D, going to be able to keep eyes on that lower lane. But VQ, they bring out the smokes. It's going to bait Ryze up just a little bit more. EQ is going to find a nice little sweet spot to get the decap on a hill. Ryze knows that they have the advantage and they will get the win condition too. So this is going to be a turtle defense on top of the D hill unless one player from Ryze can get behind. 30 seconds for VQ. Let's see if they can do it.
Got 1 more attempt at this retake, 1 more shot for Avexys in the M-bar. If he finds a pick here, it is all over and done with. You see it is 4-3. Vanquish is trying to find a bunch of decaps here. Misses the shot on 2 players from Vanquish, and now Avexys is going to get pressured by Hndles. Hndles will get taken out by 3 different shots, and this is going to open things up for Avexys once again for the retake on E. Precision will be down. He'll try to crawl into the home hill, but it won't be enough. It will not be in time, and both of us talked about how Ryze had to win map number 1. They had to show a different gear, and right now, I don't know if it's 4th or 5th, but they're finding their stride on the backs of that man right there. Avexys, absolutely picture-perfect map 1. 19 kills to his name with only 9 deaths, so absolutely fantastic job. Blaze, this matchup is only getting started. We got 2 more maps to decide, but we won't get to map number 2 until right after this quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to matchup number 1 on day 2 of Gears Esports Pro League for Split 2 Phase 2. This is already shaping up to be a better matchup for Ryze than the one yesterday where they ended up giving away a bunch of rounds to lose Asylum. They found a way to close out map number 1. Now we will head over to training grounds for map number 2. And Blaze, you had some pretty interesting takeaways from the way that Asylum was played by Ryze. And I think the people want to know. The people need to know.
Well, the only takeaway that I kind of really just had from Ryze is that when it comes down to it, I just feel like they played the map really well. More importantly, I just feel like Avexys played this map very, very well. And then it just had me thinking, like, the same way that I think teams should fear Raver on Harbor, you should fear Avexys on Asylum at this point. I just think he makes a lot of big impacts on this map. But more importantly, when it comes down to his timing off the initial, his rotations, his speed, he looks very, very good. And I started to think, well, when it comes down to our remaining 5 maps, who are the best players on those?
That would be an interesting debate topic. Just kind of going over map to map and trying to figure out, of all these pros, who is the most feared player on each of these maps. Well, I'll tell you what, coming into training grounds, I'm going to go ahead and say it, and based on how they play and the way that they rotate around the map, I don't know if it's one player I'd fear more than any other, but I would hate to be on the backside of that U fight and have to run into Hndles and Acells. I just think the way that they play amongst each other and see that the way that they are able to bounce damage off of one another just tells me that they are ready for those CQC fights. They're ready for those big team shotgun fights because they don't let anybody have any reprieve.
Yeah, no, those are definitely 2 players you have to watch out for. And when it comes down to it, Ryze is going to have their hands full with those 2, Training Grounds is a map in which we see teams have strategies in their back pockets that they kind of save for, closer towards the major in the late game. Strategies like running 2-2s, putting power weapons towards middle, some unique builds on the lower secondaries. Training Grounds, it opens the door for those type of possibilities. But on a simpler scale, we should be looking at the big fight to kick off the U, right? In the second half, also in the first half for Overlook control, unless a team wants to prioritize getting B and getting a player into that God spot. Because if they can do that, then players off the respawn that they may lose to start the game can kind of fill in the gaps towards their home hills and other portions of the map. And they can force their opponent to relinquish some of that Overlook control and play into their trap to try to decap B. So we'll see what strategy both these teams want to utilize to kick off map number 2. But if there's one thing I can tell you, this is going to be a good one.
Definitely probably going to be one of the better ones we have seen in the past couple of matchups between these two teams. 3v3 down at the bottom, 1v1 up top. And already up top, we have a little bit of a difference of play style. You see Vital is going to take the 1v1, who you normally expect to see take a team fight so that he can get information out. He can try to gather his troops around the map. Meanwhile, they send basically their 3 better CQC fighters, their 3 shotgun kings, if you'd like to say it that way, Precision, Hndles, and Acells into the fight. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Hndles has always been one of the better IGLs back when it was put upon his shoulders. You see Rushiez trying to go inside of the B hill. He'll finally get it. He has help over the top from the Overlook. Look at the angle out here from Acells onto Ice. He got a lot of damage out. Here comes the retake by Acells and Hndles. Double shot damage by both teams. Both teams now with a down, getting that kill as well. Precision will find one of his own, so now Icy has to make a move, goes for that melee, the little cancel there, double slide in, 3 shots on, he gets the down. You see Precision's gonna get lanced out from heaven. He was full red, but he doesn't go down. He actually gets the revive off. Icy to leave somebody to bleed out actually allows for the extra man advantage there at the Overlook. And things have swapped very quickly back over to Vanquish's side in favor.
Man, a lot of great plays there from Ryze, but even better ones from VQ to be able to lock in control. They have the B hill and the C hill there. And the B hill fight is going to be one that we have to pay a lot of close attention to, especially early on in this series, because it's a battle of brains versus bronze between Vital and Rushiez. And I'm curious to see how Sam's going to get the leg up in those type of situations. But you see the teamwork up top from VQ as they set up a steel wall. The Overlook is close, folks, all right? They pick up those kills, and it's going to be a quick rotation towards the home hill. VQ is going to strike first in round number 1.
Job by Vanquish to get that early retake and then to apply the secondary pressure to get that triple cap domination. They take round number 1 here in map number 2. A little over 2 minutes for them to take care of business. Now we come to the second round, and something that we've seen come to fruition a whole lot more here in Training Grounds. And I think it's actually a very interesting way that both teams, you see kind of how the meta has shifted and translated for a lot of these pro players. The team that starts out of the House of Sovereigns has had a better opportunity to take over that Overlook because of the fact, excuse me, they don't take the top of the Overlook, they take the back U because it's right-hand advantage going to the back U. The team over at the theater usually either gives up the Overlook or they go for a secondary retake of the Overlook because they know they have that right-hand advantage up there. I'll be curious to see if there's any changes, because Rushiez last time had a free look at B, but then all hell broke loose, and Vanquish comes away with 3 out of 4 kills, and they leave that last player to just kind of rotate back to his home and save his life.
So Sam Vital is going to call over some big guns, some help against Rushiez. He says, hey, I got Acells with me this time around. See, try me if you want to. And Fran comes over to help them in that 2v2 fight. But as you guys see on screen, Ryze wins their fight top Overlook. They get to the initial kill, but now they're trying to hunt down Hndles, and Hndles is just trying to isolate a 1v1. Great shots, quick turnaround, trying to get the back A, but you see how Icy slows down. He's going to respect him, not trying to get in that one-shot range, and that's a beautiful initial from Ryze.
See Icy up top. He has the easy overlook there to Acells. He's not giving away his position. Normally, you'd see players trying to pepper him up, try to add some extra damage if you look over the top. Precision will throw the flash anyway on Icy, and it was actually perfect. Icy would be stunned long enough. He has to bounce around and try to come back into the fight secondarily. Back A out. Will find the down. Precision, he will have the Boltok in hand. One shot onto Icy. The second shot will find the headshot. Good job there But now Precision has to sit down. His Franchise already back off of respawn. Throwing a flash, they'll push back into the back U. And there goes the easy slide kill for Precision. He gathers that player coming to the cover, stands up and stands proud against Fran as he gets that second shot on. He said, I cannot believe y'all challenged me back here. You knew I had help over the top, and I had the cover already. You know damn well Gears is a cover-based shooter. What you doing?
Beautiful double there from Precision. Now, VQ, they're set up exactly where they want to be. They're watching mid lane. They got players that overlook. At this point, they're just trying to count the numbers of Ryze so they can allocate their resources properly. And they feel like Ryze is going to rush 3 players at the overlook U side of the map. So that's what VQ is going to be focused on defending. This is also a great opportunity for Rushiez to give a challenge, a 1v1 down low at B simultaneously as his teammates are pushing. But you see the double that comes out from Hndles, and that's almost going to lock in around for VQ. Give him a triple. Rushiez had to rotate back over to see if he can help out his teammates, but he gets crossed out. Decap on a home hill. VQ looking to lock in round number 2.
Looking to shut this one down again, like you said. 4 dead and gone for Ryze. 2-0 for Vanquish. Storming back here in map number 2. They need this win here to send it to a map number 3. Ryze, they were looking for that 2-0, but I think this is one of those things where Vanquish has the role that they need, and there it is once again. And PR and I have gone back and forth on this 1,000 times. So Blaze, I gotta hear your opinion.
Give it to me.
Do you gotta take Rushiez out of that B fight? Just take a look at his stat line and tell me what is going on, because you know Rushiez is better than 0-0 and 3 with 2 caps and a break. You know he's better than that. But they got him playing a B fight solo. Do you just gotta take him out of it, find a different spot for him?
Well, you know what? I don't think you need to take him out of it, because you got to ask yourself, who do you put in those positions? I think Avexys is one of the best front spawn players we've ever seen. When it comes down to this map, the second player in a team fight at U may be the most important, because he has big decisions to make, and you got to be smart and evasive and elusive. I won't say evasive and elusive, but you have to be able to perfectly time your flashes and support your teammates there in those fights. And sometimes you want your IGLs in those positions, okay? But Rushiez just needs to make the B fight his own. Figure out how can he always apply pressure on that heel, force players into his hands. If he can, you know, take control of that side of the map, it'll alleviate pressure on this side for his teammates.
In here to that secondary fight. Vital trying to come in to save his teammate, but it's not going to be in time, and right now it's not enough. He's full red. The snub came out. Franchise not giving him any room to breathe. Is going to fly up those stairs at him. Getting that down. You see the retro out. They're going to have a 90-degree angle there. I love that. It was a right angle. They had Acells to the right. The retro from straight ahead at the home hill. Beautiful job to get that down. Throwing a flash out. Icy will be mounted up to the back of the U. 3 players from Vanquish are here, though, pressing back against the tide. Avexys will have top of the overlook. 1 back A out. We'll have a lot of damage out on that first player. I believe that's Acells. They're not going to be able to set him down just yet. 2 players now. 4 Ryze up top, but that's going to give them a big lead, because Icy has 1-on-1B at the bottom, and that's going to give them the ability to play some defense and continue to get these kills, to stay here and play defensively. Ryze is just having to fight for their lives and claw and scratch for every little bit. Acells, he goes huge and gets 2 by himself, ending that fight off and helping settle things up. They're even threatening a triple cap now, Blaze.
Whose mans is this? Okay, has somebody claimed him? Because Acells is a damn superstar. The plays that he constantly makes in the leagues, in these majors, is keep his team alive. He's a walking highlight reel, all right? And we saw another one there. VQ about to pull away with the lead. Ryze do have all 4 players off respawn, and they know that they still have an opportunity at locking in this round, so they're going to put their focus on their opponent's home hill. You see the team fire there from VQ. They get an initial down, but Ryze is there to pick up the kills. It's a 3v2 currently on the map. VQ is going to sprint to Ryze's home hill to get the decap, to keep the lead in their favor, and they're going to do just that. Rushiez has some difficult plays to make. Waiting for help to come through. Does not want to die on his side of the map, and that's a big kill from him. Now, Fran, Rushiez, can they take out Precision in this moment? Precision being annoying, just buying time for his team, and look at the domination coming through. Look at the work that needs to get done from Ryze, and they don't have anyone on VQ's home hill. That's a VQ round.
3 Vanquish is doing a fantastic job here in fighting back against Ryze. One of the things that they struggled against in Asylum, and granted, Avexys was doing a lot of the work by being able to sit people down. Right now, Vanquish can do no wrong with these team fights, and it has been their bread and butter to keep Ryze on the back foot in this map. They have not let them get a stronghold really much in any of these rounds, which is forcing Ryze to continue to fly back to spots, continue to fly back into position to try to take these fights again. And I think it's just one of those situations where Vanquish is doing what they needed to be doing on map 1. They found their groove. Now, this is a scary sight for Ryze.
Yeah, this is a really, really scary sight for Ryze indeed, but we talked about that first map win. They got that cushion. Ryze, they just need to get focused and figure out how can they best VQ off the initial. They will lose Rushiez off the start, but Fran with a quick rotation is going to be able to take out Precision. Neutral Hill is in favor of Vanquish, a player in God spot. Nice usage of the shot grenade. The call out, you see the crossfire come through from Icy. Fran knew that player was going to go down automatically, so he wasted no time getting into that B hill and getting his team the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Now, Ryze, they're in a defensive position where they love to be. Let's see how they're going to hold off VQ.
Shots over the top. Icy get that down. That's what I was talking about last round, where I thought he might try to pop shot damage over cover. Oh my God, Icy got bounced straight into by Precision, getting that easy kill. You see Avexys being pushed back here along with a teammate. You see, I believe that is Rushiez to his right. He's gonna get that killed off. So, oh no, Blaze. Like dominoes, man. Like dominoes, they are falling.
One by one by one. VQ pushing through. They're going to be in their opponent's spawn, locking in their home hill. They're going to defend against that flank from player 2. Now, luckily, it is mid-game for the Ryze fans, right? And for the Ryze players. They got plenty of time to come back into this round. We still got a map number 3 that will possibly be played. Ryze, how do they want to come back in this one? Looking at VQ setup, 2 players at C, 2 players at A. Ryze is trying to figure out, okay, which hill do we want to prioritize first? Well, when all else fails, you play off your right hand, and that's why we see 3 members of Ryze on this side of the map towards their opponent's spawn, and they're making sure that they can clear out this side, making sure that everyone is in front of them. Icy gets that intel for them. Now he moves in. Need a nice little decap on a home, but this shot grenade was placed well by Hndles. A quick rotation from his teammates. They got the home hill fortified. 2 members from Ryze go down. Icy is next on the hit list, making a team wipe in VQ. They're feeling good.
Definitely feeling good. Even with those 2 kills, they know they got plenty of time to rotate across the map. You see him slowly trickling in over to B hill. You see Rushiez trying to get these back A's off. He gets a little bit of damage on the Hndles, trying to bait him into a fight, but Hndles, beautiful job there. Hndles is 1v1 as well. There's the triple gap domination ticking through, and even with that kill, it's not going to be enough for them to be able to get a hill back, and I don't even know if it would have been enough, even if they had basically wiped everybody there at their home hill, because they would have had to make it to both B and A quite quickly and swiftly. 4-0 Vanquish. They take a commanding lead here. They are 1 round away from tying it up 1-1. Voltok placed down by Vanquish at the uplink, and it looks like Ryze is going to change the fight up. They're hovering over that mid-U fight. They're gonna probably put a power weapon down here, and they want this to be, there it is, the same thing. They're going to try to get that M-bar back in the hands of somebody like Avexys.
Yeah, if he can get it, he can definitely set the pace on this map, because he hunts down kills, and once he gets those advantages for his teammates, they know exactly what to do with them. But it comes down to this team fight. It's going to be a 4v4. Flashes go out. Precision's going to hold his to the last possible second. He gets a hit marker, lets Acells know they step up. Kills get traded, 3v3 currently, but you're going to see the members of Vanquish rotating around, trying to take out Franchis. The pistol down is there. Those kills aren't cleaned up. VQ will have a man advantage. It's up to Rushiez to buy time. You see Icy spring left, trying to get to him. Melee there to get his teammate full health. But did Rushiez buy enough time to make this a double initial, or is VQ going to get the setup?
Right now, it looks like VQ's trying to get that set up very quickly. Like you said, did they buy enough time? Not enough just yet. You see them pushing back in. Flashes out of Avexys will be a little bit damaged here. Acells is going to pull back down toward the U. Finds the first shot on Icy. It's only a body shot, but it will be enough damage to get the chunk. The Avexys now caught between a rock and a hard place. If he bounces out over toward that F, he can get Lancered from the heaven. I think player number 2, Fran, is trying to go through that underneath, trying to get a rotation onto player 8, but he's going to get called out. So now they know where all 4 players are. This is going to be interesting to me. Is Vanquish should have all the information they need. It's just about why Icy? You gave up 2 deaths to the man.
Acells, when he gets M-bar, boy, you gotta respect him. You hear Rev, you just gotta stop moving, or you're just gonna have to hope he doesn't hit the headshot. But even with the body shot coming through, that's a lot of damage, and VQ is gonna capitalize off of it. E-Hill locked in, F-Hill locked in, map control is there. This is looking like it's gonna be a hot 5-0 on map number 2, and District is coming up next.
Well on their way to that hot 5-0, like you said. You see Acells just prowling around. One more shot. Still, though, it's going to be all on the shoulders of Ryze to make a retake. No. He calls out Fran. This is what I love.
Ooh,
3.
And it's icy.
3.
He can't get out of spawn.
What? My God! Somebody throw a smoke and give the man cover. Right
He's about to switch right now if he ain't switched already. You're going to see a smoke randomly mid-map. You know what it's for if you see it, folks, okay? It's for Icy to get to the team fight. But Fran, he's going to be there by himself. He goes down. Avexys goes down, and the round's locked in. VQ, let Ryze know that, hey, man, this is not going to be easy. You're going to have to take us down on District. We'll see if Ryze can. They're going to be up for the task.
Icy, you know I love you, man. You know I love you to death, but you're about to find yourself an EA. Not NA, not AA, it's EA. M-Bar's anonymous. You got to get off the scene after 3 straight deaths, my brother. You got to find a way to put your head down and just find a different way out of spawn right now, my man. You know I love you, but you cannot find yourself on the receiving end of 3 I'm just envisioning Icy just singing nursery rhymes in his head, just happy as can be. I'm coming back off spawn.
Talking about the strategy. All right, yo, get ready to throw your smoke. Get ready to throw your flash. I'm coming out. Pop. And then you do that times 2 more times after that, right? And then you got to just feel defeated, especially with it being 5-0 on the scoreboard as well. It just shows the perfect map control that VQ had. Also, I don't blame him for taking the same route, because as I say, when it comes down to sharpshooter weapons, those long range weapons like marks of snipers and M-bars, at a certain point, you just got to hope that he doesn't hit the shot. You just got to hope he doesn't hit it. But Acells says, I will hit this 3 times in a row. And that just shows to his skill.
I'm still just a little bit flabbergasted, a little bit stunned. But I know who wasn't stunned, and it was Vanquish. They lose map number 1, and it seemed like they did not mind one bit. They said, look, let's just go to training grounds. Let's clean this thing up. They get the 5-0, the hot 5-0, as a matter of fact. And Icy there just trying his best to make something happen. Ryze put in a hell of a fight for most of these rounds, but it just would not be enough in any situation or form against what Vanquish brought here. Blaze,
yeah, nah.
You know what's coming, man. There it is. There's one.
That was the first one.
Oh, no.
In the cross map, that was the second respawn, and this was the third. And he just could not get there whatsoever. Acells kept him locked in spawn, and VQ will quickly get through map number 2 to force this map 3 on District. Now, Colin, as we approach District here, I feel like both these 2 teams are really talented on this map. But who would you have to kind of tilt the scale in favor of, and why?
I actually think one of the things I would like to look for in this map is the differentiating play styles. One of the things that I think has been very cool for Ryze, to see out of Ryze actually, is the way that they have been able to really push a meta in all 3 different centerline weapon positions. I've seen them place power weapons in the very middle of the map by the fountain, get those shots on, be able to get that power weapon and get it out. I've seen them be able to do it at the cinema and at the bandstand. Whereas on the side of Vanquish, I haven't had to see them place it mid-map or in the cinema. I see Vanquish loving that bandstand fight. They put that shock down. They are able to stop somebody from coming in for a revive or getting out and trying to get revived. And they know how good they are in those CQC fights in the bandstand itself. So I want to see if Ryze early in this map goes over and tries their best to put a power weapon down somewhere else, tries to make the fight come away from that bandstand, come away from Vanquish's strong side, if you will, because if you can get them off their marker, if you can get them uncomfortable, which is what you were able to do in map 1 when you went to Asylum and they put the M-bar, there were a lot of times you saw Vanquish pretty uncomfortable in that fight. It was like they were more suited for the B fight, the train track fight. They won that a lot more than they were winning the entrance. Try to get them off kilter. Try to get them where they are not comfortable and they haven't seen it a lot. If you want to come away with a 2-1, screw keeping your strats close to the vest. Come away with a win right here, Ryze, for your fans, for your orgs, for yourselves, and make this strategy work for you.
I think you said it very beautifully, Colin, right there. And one thing that you mentioned now was the different play styles. And as a team, you need to understand what makes your squad so special. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And when you find yourselves in these tough moments heading into map 3s, you got to ask yourselves, what are we good at? Let's play our game and let's close out this series. Now, when it comes down to Ryze, the beauty about them, you called it, Colin. It don't matter what center line they're focused on. What's the main objective and the priority of the map? They got something for that area. This is a squad that we highlighted them earlier in the broadcast. It was Franchis, all right? He has played more setups and more initials than any player, focusing on several different objectives throughout many different Gears of War games. So if that's going to be your strength as a squad, now Rushiez knows it, Avexys knows it, hell, Icy knows it as well. This team, they're very adaptable. And as these rounds get longer, and as these maps get longer as well, they get better. They adapt round after round. So they need to understand that and feel that going into this map number 3, because that's going to be their win condition against VQ. Now, I know they got a great coaching staff over there, so they know which setups VQ like the most. And I want to see Ryze say, okay, early on in this map, we're going to see if we can beat you at your best, right? Get the angles there, bait you out, get better flashes than you, and see if we don't have to work too hard. But, hey, they give them a nice little battle. Cool. Now from that point on, Ryze needs to set the pace. I think we may get 2 center line power weapons on this map. One at Bandstand, one up top at Cinema, because in the second half, if Avexys can make that fight up top on Cinema District, a 1v1 for the M-bar, he's going to run it. It don't matter who he's going up against on his VQ squad. He will take that player out. And then from the other moment, Rushiez working Bandstand, Icy and Fran is going to have to make some great plays mid-map off the rotations to really lock this map number 3 in for Ryze. And it's going to be a much-needed one indeed for them, because I know they don't want to start this league off 0-2.
I also want to see Ryze kind of be a little bit quicker to the punch, something that we really saw them struggle with in training grounds against Vanquish. You saw how quick Vanquish was to get the next man up back into position. They were able to fill those spots, fill those slots in. I need to see that out of Ryze. I know Ryze is very meticulous. They're very methodical. They want to get their players in the correct positions to be able to overtake certain positions. I really just want to be able to see Ryze do a better job of, you know what, it might be somebody we want to get up top to try to get to that B, that Cinema fight, but let's just bring him right back here because he's the first one back off spawn. I need to see them get back into the fights a little bit quicker to be able to contest these objectives against Vanquish. But all that said and done.
We talk about them being very adaptable, but maybe what Ryze needs to do is just set the pace early on and keep it, right? Force the team into their hand and not find themselves behind trying to claw their way back into the series.
Precision is going to get angled out here, and I like what I saw from Ryze. They get the early damage on it. They force most of Vanquish back out of that bandstand, and Acells will come away with 1 kill, but, I mean, they have no positioning on the map. You see Vanquish had the 2-1 hill advantage, and they've got player 4 going for an overextension, a little bit of an OE. Player 7's caught out in the middle. Vital's just trying to live inside of the juice, but he's got no help. Icy, a little bit of an up A there through Vital as well. The last player alive for Vanquish, at least out on the middle of the map to be able to play defense, will be Hndles. He's going to continue to get marks. He's going to get pulled up on from behind. That's going to be Rushiez trying to go for the 6 o'clock play here. Flash out. 2 more players for Vanquish are going to move into the area. Now 3 players here will challenge back out the 2 players from Ryze. The home-to-home stretch is in favor of Ryze, and this is a pretty interesting setup to me because you see how even though Ryze doesn't have that B hill, they've got all the positioning. If Vanquish leaves that area, they are going to get crossed out if you ask me.
But the thing is that as soon as Ryze realize that they're about to get jumped in juice, They're going to try to spring into action and get the B hill, but based off how they're spread out, VQ, they were quicker at isolating a man advantage, and that was the 2v1 in which they taken in juice, and because of that, they will easily be able to get back their home hill. I thought Ryze was going to stay in a position to strike on B if their opponent rotated out, because if they would have did that, then they could have just set up across the midline of the map and held their 2-to-1 hill setup. It was a great initial for them, and Ryze, they're still where they want to be with the lead in this round, but we'll see when VQ can cap up their home hill. If they can get either home hill on this lower portion of the map, because you see player 2 has to back down, and he's going to be out of there. Ryze, they're looking comfortable in this round number 1 right now.
They're set up to win this one. Going to be crossing that 200-point threshold. They've kept Vanquish down to about 115. And you see Hndles after getting that decap. He's going to throw that flash down to the back of the cinema area. 2 shots on the Rushiez will have the down, but 3 players from Ryze are right there able to lancer out Hndles, preventing him from getting a kill or pushing up. No way this is not a Ryze round 1. And like you said, they needed to set the pace. Well, they already did. They angled everybody out of bandstand. Early kills leading to the 2-to-1 hills from the home-to-home stretch, and then able to go for that long stretch back over to B. Precision goes for the backslide there, but I mean, Icy not fooled. Icy takes him down. Good job, good answer by Ryze. They lose 5 straight rounds. They answer back, though, in round number 1 on map number 3.
Yeah, that was a good round number 1 for Ryze, and it came down from their aggression at the bandstand, and that's Rushiez taking control. That's going to be his favorite place of the map to play in. You can look back at all the times we've watched District be played. Think about how Rushiez had to go in there, fight some big fights, get drop shot, rotated out, and make some plays for his team. He owns the side of the map. Now, on the flip end, when it comes down top cinema, Ryze has Avexys, all right? So when it comes down to him having a right-hand advantage, I want to see Ryze empower him top cinema and play more for the B hill this time around versus playing for home hills as they did in round number 1, and keep alternating between those 2 strategies, just because they got 2 talented slayers, and you got to figure out how can you make both of them, you know, kind of empower them and feel like superstars and set them up for success.
You can start setting your teammates up for success. They're able to get these first shots on. You see Fran actually had the flash out. He was going to push up and try to pressure out Precision, but look at the long-range angle they had there. 2 players from Ryze already full red. Avexys is going to try to throw that flash and get back into the fight, but he's still full red. Double downs come out. The 2-to-1 hill advantage should go in favor of Vanquish, but they've given up the B hill. Hndles with that Voltok, I mean, did a lot of damage early on, and you see now they have just settled things once again, just the way Ryze did. Ryze went home to home, and then they used that extra retake to go to B. Target my mark. Don't see them being able to do anything in this situation other than simply come back off a respawn. And there it is again, the great utility use of the smokes. Lining up the sight lines, using the flash to get the stun. Precision trying to stay alive, hand over the face. We'll finally get the pick up there on the meat shield. You see Hndles trying to wiggle waggle back into this fight against Icy. Double shot down, Franchis blast into the fight. Hndles, Voltok out, Hndles headshot. That'll be all she wrote for this round. Team fire.
Little team fire right there, indeed. So, you know, going back to how that one broke down, you saw VQ with the home hill setup down low. Ryze trying to retake it. Now, as Ryze is trying to retake it right there, and you see those smokes go, they got to get 3 players into that fight. And you have to wolf pack with that man advantage as soon as you can, but they had to worry about the flank. But that just brought the 2 players down low. I think it was Precision and Hndles, enough time to make that play, get that first down. And as soon as the first down went through, VQ quickly identified their man advantages, and it was just focus fire from that point on until they locked in round number 2.
Voltok Talon bottom, Voltok Talon top. I like the differentiating ideals by each team. You see Ryze with the Voltok down low. This is going to be pretty interesting to me, as you can see they're going to be able to pick it up and put damage out toward the bandstand. But I think this is a wrinkle plays. Vanquish only sending 1 player to the bandstand, playing defense at their home. Double players, double capping at the B hill. And that indeed was the wrinkle in the game plan. They've got 2 downs now around the map. Not going to be able to find both kills, only able to find one on the back of Hndles with that Talon, but this is going to give the 2-1 hill advantage and an early point lead over Ryze.
Yeah, it was a little wrinkle, but it was a nice little trap set up for VQ because they have a lot of faith in Acells as he's playing Juice, because in their mind, if Ryze wants to rush 2 players over, 3 players over, Acells is going to have free cross on him. And he's trusted in his teammate to get just 1 down. If his teammate gets it down, they start the revive train. They can definitely get a kill. They'll have their third guy either taking numbers elsewhere on the map or quickly on the flank to clean up on those kills. And Ryze, they did not take the bait. Instead, they're trying to set themselves up to get a capture on B. And we'll see if they can do that. They're waiting for player 7 to hop over. But with Icy Move and VQ, they are on alert, figuring out that, well, they on alert that Ryze is about to make a move soon. Just trying to figure out where's it going to be. Is it the home hills? Is it the B hill? Where Rushiez tossing flashes and Juice took some free damage on his left. Icy feeling really confident about precision. He's going to take out the kill. Rushiez regroup, but Acells, he's able to get that shot on Fran over the top. Another back A on Icy to take him down, and his teammate saves the day. It was a nice execution there from Ryze, but even better defense from VQ.
VQ definitely with a better defensive stand right there. I love the team fire out of them and gives them the opening for the triple cap domination. 2 players here for Vanquish. They're not going to be able to hold off all 4 of Ryze. They're just going to try to get downs and damage, and I actually like this. They're continuing to fly off the scene. Avexys is chasing up, trying to get those shots with that Nasher output. Hndles the king of the Talon. I don't know if there's an official title for that, but we know that he was probably the purveyor, the provocateur of that Talon when it first came out, before it got, GA'd, and then it got officially banned by Gears Esports. Now it's back in the fold as it has to be placed down, it has to be picked up. And Hndles, he's just thanking the good Lord above. He said, thank you for my best friend, because when I got this thing in the hip, I'm putting out more shots and more damage than just about God himself with it.
Yeah, man, that Talon pistol is not anything to play around with. If you hear it off in the distance, you better pull out a pistol and start backing up, play for some early damage before you have to close the gap in between that player, because you get too close and he has that weapon out. Whew, you're going to the respawn. Now, weapon placements, we are going to get our M-bar placed down top side of the map. Ryze, this is the fight in which they want. Let's see how they're going to come out and win this one off the initial. At first, I thought they were going to send 3 players right to the core of it, but they're going to hold one back mid-map. So pretty much a 1-1-2 between both these squads, and the fight's broken out. Quick focus from VQ on a player that hopped over, but in the end, VQ will get the first blood. Precision wraps around on the second kill. M-bar is going to go their way, but Ryze winning some big engagements mid-map.
Back roll by Hndles would get him killed, but thankfully Precision was there for fans of Vanquish to roll up and try to get the shots on. They get the down, they get the damage. They've got the 2-1 hill setup and the M-bar in the hands of Vital. I'm not sure if they're going to rotate that out and try to get it in somebody else's hands, or if they're simply just going to allow Vital to try to make a little highlight reel. It actually looks like he's running over to this info. Acells is mounted up there.
About to drop that on the ground.
I thought he was too. I thought he was going to make a little sneaky play there, but they get the G-cap. Good job by Ryze. The down comes through, but no deaths just yet. There's the drop. There's the retake. They switch the weapons off. They've given... Is that the retro for Vital? Does Vital have the... Oh, that's a big play if you ask me, because now Vital can actually rotate toward the middle of the map and apply pressure to the bottom side to get him a pick down there, but... I mean, there's no point. You've got the point lead. You're going to force Ryze out in this situation. It's going to be a lot more than just a single cap up and around win.
Anyone from Ryze that gets close to that home hill was going to get beamed from that retro. I like Vital's previous position with it mid-map in the juice, but he's going to take a direct sight line when it comes down to this fight with the retro. Want to make sure he gets all that stopping power. Now, Acells has 2 more shots left at his M-bar. He connects on Avexys. His team has a man advantage. They're trying to isolate the third, but Vital gets taken out. Maybe a little bit too aggressive down low. He went to go make a play on Rushiez, but instead he makes a play for his squad. If he gets the decap, he has a revive close by as well, but his bounce route didn't allow for his teammate to get him, but now Fran has to make a big play. He won't be able to do that. And Ryze, they have 2 hills to their name, but they quickly have to come off respawn and set up, because you see they're losing B now.
You see them losing B. There's a down there on Precision. 2 players of Vanquish are going to try to push up and save him. They do get the down. They're going to be able to get the quick pickup. Beautiful job there. You see on the opposite side of the map, though, a death comes through, and Ryze are going to rush for the home-to-home stretch. They're going to try to get back into this by getting the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Acells in the area with his pistol out, trying to get all of the shots to connect. Won't be able to find anybody just yet and get it down. He's just going to have a lot of damage. Embar still on his back. He doesn't have a Lancer. Beautiful shot over the... Oh, my God! Precision from over the top. He came from that info with a beautiful shot, got the kill. They're going to get that hill, and now he's going to try to mount up, but he hits the head of Franchis! That's 2 for precision, and both of those kills are huge to keep Vanquish in the lead and to give them the possibility of a 3-1 round count going into the second half.
Oh, 2 body shots on these players, and having to push into that 3-man setup of VQ on top of the home hill. They know they really didn't have no chance at that fight. That's 3 in a row for Vanquish. And good job to them for being able to get the power weapons, get an early lead, and then play off that advantage of which they had, making sure that they had the right players in the right lane to stop any move that Ryze was going to make. And most importantly, man, precision, hitting some big M-bar shots, as well as Acells picking up those kills on a home hill. Good job to VQ in round number 4, but we are going to the second half. We'll see if that changes up the fight at all. I think the M-bar still is going to be the focal point, though.
I mean, it definitely has to still kind of be that focal point. I'll be curious to see if Ryze changes it up a little bit here coming into this fight, because as you said, the early team fire from Vanquish on the player that came over the hop gave him the first blood, and then once you're in that position where you got the extra manage, you're able to kind of focus out one after the next and get the next couple of downs. You see Precision trying to push up, but he stays flashed out. Up A from Acells will find the down, the kill. Wow. Now the shot punch, Acells. Beautiful 2 kills there. He has one more player to worry about. It's Avexys. He's going to backpack the M-bar, which I think is the smart play, but he doesn't even need to worry about dying, as his reaction was just too quick, too fast, and too much of a spread, and he gets that kill. It'll reward them with the E-hill, the M-bar, the positioning, and all intents and purposes, the beginning of this round is all Vanquish.
Yes, it is, Colin. Now Acells, he had discipline to know that he didn't have enough time from the moment that the first kill got acquired for him to be able to push across map and capture that home hill. So he slows down, make sure he protects the M-bar. Precision can feel danger. He backs up just a bit more as Ryze is going to take control over Bandstand. The hop up is there. The body shot comes through. Rushiez will stay alive for now. He goes down. But you see his Acells trying to get the blind fire over the cover. He's going to have this juice to fend it. And Ryze, man, at this point, currently, Colin, they're going to get this E-hill captured. Oh, never mind.
Not for 1 second. Never mind. Look, sometimes we all say things, Blaze. Might be a little too early. Sometimes we all have feelings, and all they amount to is just that as a feeling. Oh, Franchis got hit with one more snub over the corner. Ryze is crawling. He's trying to get away. Vital catches him, though, and now they get the down on Rushiez. Rushiez blows the smoke on himself, and it's not going to matter because he's going to get picked off. 2 players are down and dead. Vanquish have the home-to-home stretch. Avexys will have to go to the long-range smoke. Here comes an extra flash. He's going to have to go straight into E, but the damage is there. The damage is done. Vanquish find themselves in a position to go up 4-1. All Vital has to do is just distract. And picture perfect by Vanquish. Rounds 4 and 5, if you ask me, they have played better in those 2 rounds than even they did on training grounds because they were damn near flawless. I think they maybe gave up 2 deaths in both of those rounds each. They've hit that gear, Blaze. They have gone to that scary place, that place where Acells is hitting every and any shot. Look. When you gave Acells, when you give a guy like Acells 8 shots in the Nasher, he only needed the 6th game. But now you gave him 2 more. Now 2 more people probably got to pay for that.
That's just extra added pressure. 2 shots of pressure, man. But I was going to make a comment on him as well. If he is currently 12, 12, and 6, that is a beautiful 2.0 KD. Yo, I want to say that's a 4.0 KDA for him currently in this matchup in 4v4 Gears of War. So Acells looking good. You got to be scared of him, Colin. He is one of our most fearsome players in the league. You give him an M-bar, he seems unstoppable. And in this round number 6, he is going to be so influential for VQ to come out, win the initial. They're going to be able to give him his power weapon once again. A quick pinch down low on top of Rushiez, and Rushiez stays alive. Hold up. 1v1 situation. Him versus Vital. He wants to take over. You're going to take apart. Be a part of the problem. What is it? You got to push in. There you go. You get the kill.
He figured it out. Look, he knew he had to go a little wide there to get that damage. He ended up getting it on that secondary shot. Icy, he's going to be holding off the home hill here. They've got the 2-1 hill advantage. They're down in points, but they'll easily clean that up in just a few moments. Acells will have the M-bar looking to catch anybody slipping, because we know how deadly he's been able to be with it. Not exactly sure where this retake is going to come through. As you can see, Vanquish has to find a pick somewhere. He gets the mark onto Icy, but doesn't find the damage to slow him down. The push comes through down toward the E hill. This is going to be where the big team fight comes out. Retro already putting the damage. Rushiez, beautiful job there to keep them pinned back. And I think this is where Ryze, they'll be able to dominate this round, because even with the M-bar, Acells has to find a pick, because this is what we talked about. Ryze is able to really dictate the pick. There's the pick. Found it. There it is. Ayo. No. Oh, thank God.
I would have lost it. I'm already at a loss for words when it comes down to his M-bar skills, because he has to be the most consistent in the league when he has that weapon, and probably one of the most impactful players that we have. Definitely top 3. You guys can have the debate in the chat, but VQ has 2 hills to their name in the win condition and control of the series. Hndles 1 shot left in his M-bar. We'll see what he can do with that.
Hndles is he's just looking for this retake to come in. He easily shuts down Avexys. And I love the fact that players have kind of learned, especially with the M-bar, if they have any help over the top, to just go for the body shot. Just get the chunk, get the kill. Don't try to make a montage. It's not time for montage. It's time for win bonuses. It's time to go 2-0 in Pro League. Vanquish is definitely feeling it. Down to 15 seconds, but Ryze does not have the manpower or the time and plays. 2-1 hill advantage. Under 10 seconds to go. Now they're just playing with their food like lions. Vanquish, they wrap up map 3, 5-1. They get a 2-1 victory, and they find themselves 2-0 in Pro League. And Ryze, whoo, they got to go back to the drawing board. They are finding themselves with a goose egg in that win column.
All right.
Yeah, damn right.
Rocking the Puerto Rican flag in the background. Acells getting it done there. VQ, man, they are a team that you're going to have to fear in this Pro League, especially in Split 2, because I think that they are going to resemble more of their dominance from that last event of 5v5 Gears of War. So be scared of these guys. They look like they are up to speed. They learned a lot from those playoffs, and they are going to be one of the teams that benefited the most from it. And they don't want to have a worse placing than they just did, because that was their worst placing as a unit right there. Now they want to build off of that.
They're going to continue to build, just laying bricks. And I mean, Vanquish is hitting absolute bricks right now. All 4 of those guys. All of their shoddy skills have just been on point. They have had some great leadership, some great coaching, and I think that's one of the things I actually really enjoy the more I've gotten to examine it. I know we joked about in the mid-split playoff, what was the bigger loss, Reptilian or Great? But now that I think about it, I almost feel like it's a benefit for them to go from a guy like Great, who taught them to settle down, who taught them probably composure, setup, staying calm under pressure, to now they go to a guy like Jackal, whose numbers, whose tendencies. He's very much a guy that knows the numbers, knows the play-by-play of teams, and breaks the game down on that kind of level. I think that might have given Vanquish just another gear.
I agree with you on that one, because beforehand in the past, man, when it came down to strategy, Vital is a great IGL and a great leader for this team. But with a man like Jackal on his team, he gets someone to kind of go back and forth with, right? And someone to kind of challenge his opinions and his thought process of how the team should be ran. But that type of friction, which is good friction, will make a squad better, because at the end of the day, man, steel sharpens steel. And so far, man, VQ is looking sharp.
VQ is looking sharp, looking like they coming out of a fresh store with a brand new fitted suit on there, looking fantastic. And Blaze, I've got a little note, a free note for everybody out there in chat.
Okay.
Just a free note.
A free one?
Acells is good with M-Bar.
If you guys did not know, all right,
that's for free. That's a free
right
tip.
there.
I'm not going to even charge for that one. That one's just out there in the universe now. You don't even have to worry about it. That one's for all of you to take home. If you're taking notes, if you got dreams about being a pro league player, if you got dreams about you and your squad getting on the big stage under the bright lights and having one of the greatest of all time and God Blaze call your action, just remember Acells is really good with the M-Bar. That's a free, that's from me to you.
Hey, free tip right there. If you ever have to go up against them, figure out how to make that a 1v1 spot or something, because that man if he got his teammates behind him, they come out with that weapon, it's probably going to be over.